Welcome to the channel. It's been a good weekend. It's been a long weekend. Just gonna go live and try to finish Metal Garden. I actually think we're right at the end anyway, so it shouldn't be too much. I don't think it's gonna be a long one. I'm actually also just gonna sit here for a couple minutes. I don't think anybody's gonna join, but I've been reading Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo, and I want to finish the chapter. So yeah, I'm here. But we're gonna be playing Metal Garden and continuing from where we left off. I'll say this for everybody who's not in the crowd. Jujutsu Kaisen is very complicated. turn down my mic a bit. Maybe that was too much. Hey, 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 hey. Hey. Well, I got to the end of that and I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Give me 2 minutes. like it's too bright in here. I feel like it is too bright. I feel like it's too bright to get stuck into the game, since the game is so atmospheric. Now I am in darkness. Oh well. Let's go. Oh, I forgot this bit was peak. And I ain't got no bullets. It becomes a free-for-all, innit? I've got one grenade. Oh wait, you have to go around and pick up the stuff. So they reload you a tiny bit first. Oh wait, that was it. That was the signal. And my thing is straight failing stat. Yeah, man's getting my wig touched by these, man. See how I'm shaking. Oh wait, here we go. You man wanna get the shorty though. Tyler boy. Alright, this is an extreme. Dead. What I did before, I used grenades. I funneled them up into that spot. Let's change the light. Okay. I was tripping. I should have come here first. And I know that there's some extra ammo somewhere else. Oh, wait a second. Of course, I have the armory keys. Yeah, there's some grenades over here. What I need to do is remember I have a sniper rifle and I need to use it on these pagans. Because when they pop up, okay. Secretly, what I wanted. Yes, this is what I want to do. Funnel them into the phalanx. Click that. I didn't even know you could one-shot them like that. Let's conserve bullets and do that as often as possible. This is where get wrecked. I don't even have no more lives. But I think that was it. There's a sniper somewhere, but not here. Oh, sometimes you kind of wonder. I mean, the world would never get to a place like this. But the fact that it's some people's dream that humanity gets to a place like this is haunting. Because this would be terrifying. And I mean, who's to say there aren't the resources to do that and move mad? Opening lost send message. The generally held belief is that there is no such thing as a completely closed structure, a completely isolated system. This would violate the laws of thermodynamics that we understand, not to mention create a simple energy supply problem in the case of a megastructure as massive as the one we find ourselves trapped in. Therefore, even if a megastructure's supposed outer walls have always been too difficult to drill or bomb through, and you especially, Minister, should know the exuberant cost of that drilling, even the smallest amount have occurred in the past. The hope of finding a maintenance tunnel or a ventilation shaft has at least always been present. And it's exactly one of these passages that we believe we have now found. Message from the head researcher Lucien Augven, our vegan to Holden Itzvey. I don't know if that's the whole name. Minister of France. And to answer your question, Minister, off the record, of course, the UV light diffusion we have measured in the outer structure has been far below standard levels where it can be measured at all. I'm tremendously happy to report such a space would indeed solve our most major concern. Hey, it's called Metal Garden. Yeah. Basically, we're stuck in a mega structure, so that's not the sky, that's the ceiling. But it goes as far as the eye can see, and we just came from these inner walls here. So it just had a little face off. I died twice, I think, or once. Defo died once. Yeah, we had a jewel in here. But because I've got the PlayStation pad plugged in, it's easy to play. When I played on the first time, whichever day that was. Oh wait. Oh, I just remember what happened. This is where we got stuck. Alright, it's a boss fight. When I played on the first day with the keyboard, it was too hard. My hands, this part of my hand was just caning. Alright, let's go. I need to figure this one out because I know that I'm about to get key-lapped. Oh my days. Oh my dear. Jeez, bro. I want to jump on top of it. Oh, here we go. Hey, elaborate for you again. Okay. As far as I understand the game so far, we're in a mega structure. Let me turn that up so you can see my face. Tiny bit. So, Metal Garden, we're in a mega structure. We are in a mega structure. I don't know much else. Basically, we are in a mega structure. I don't think there's much to the story. They don't tell you who you are. You wake up next to a crashed spaceship, and basically you're trying to get out. The information that you're being fed in small parts is basically just telling you about the CSMG Corporation and the other parts. They're trying to find out if the space is actually endless. Metal structure. Yeah. So basically, you're breaking out. It seems we're actually in chapter 5, and basically I was started playing this based off the premise it was an hour and a half, and I'm enjoying myself. So another dude whose channel I watch played it, so it's on his recommendation. But it's just you're being fed little bits of information. You're seeing that there's the secretorum of leopards, and then whatever those. You haven't even seen the enemies yet. You've only seen this mega robot thing, and I understand what I need to do now. I think I need to run away and jump right on top and maybe try and climb inside. We're gonna see. But yeah, basically we're trying to. I don't know what we're trying to do, but we're gonna survive. See, now we're back at this. Oh my days! When you die, you have to go all the way back. Oh, I never had to. Okay. Oh wait, I keep forgetting to do this. So what I need to do is not use any health until I get to that robot. But those dudes shoot me. You'll see shoots, bro. Oh wait, you can't even see the game anymore. Crazy, and I'm here playing. He didn't say nothing. Just there watching man's face. Man's big beanhead. Alright. So yeah, what we know is there are some pirate-hatted dons, and they are working with the leopards, the leopard people. They're like king, and they are the ops. There are some snipers. I missed it. Block. See what I'm saying? They do this right, bro. That's where I want to be. See, and I was still getting hit that whole time, and I had to use a health, and I got hit again. Come on. He had some airtime. There you go, mate. Oh, see how these guys are accurate. And I used all my healths. This is where things get peak. Oh my days, why did I do that? I'm not gonna make it, lads. Oh my days. Somehow. Ooh, that was close. I didn't have a bullet. Wait a second. Oh my day. Oh wait, I didn't even do it the right way. I'm such a wally. I did it backwards. Oh my days. Young man. Yeah, these are the pirate dons. See why I say that they're pirates? Look at him, scallywag, with his doubloon shooter and these leopards. Walk the plank. Alright, cool. I need a better strategy for this part because I've been getting cooked. And every time you die, you go back. And I don't want to have to keep doing that. Oh my days, I wasted the health. There's no, that was the checkpoint. That was the last checkpoint. So that I don't get a checkpoint after that fight. No. Okay, what I think I was doing wrong is I was not shooting that thing, the plumbus that was coming down from the robot. Alright, alright. This is PC. This is on my PC. Do you know what's mad, yeah? I forget, I was actually doing that. Wow. And it's deep water as well. Crazy. Even knew. Oh my days, what am I doing? Oh my days. How rap? This is unfair. I'm still getting hit through the wall, fam. I ain't got no grenades left. I got loads of shotgun bullets, but that's too. Now in this game, I might even be able to take damage. I can still take damage from here. Oh, Where's the sniper bullets? Only 4. Oh shit. I should probably go over there. Dude, bro. See that, bro? Man broke his ankles, cuzzy. Do I not have no bullets left? Alright, let's go. We did it. We did it, lads. Hey, what is in the core? Oh, maybe I could have opened that during the fight and shot in there. Who knows? That could have been a quick kill. Maybe that's a speedrun tactic. But we did it though. We're gamers. Is this the way out? Wow. I feel like I'm about to make a dumb decision. Oh wait, no. Oh, we made it. Maybe that was the dumb decision. No, wait. Alright, here we go. Here we go, lads. I wonder how many times. Let me not get carried away. I don't even remember where it is now. Alright, it's there. Gamer.
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
What happens if I run all the way around? Do I get an item or do I get nothing? Crazy. You don't get a damn thing. I would not make it in this world. That reaction was a proper oh great heavens. I don't know why I covered my mouth like that. Okay, let's not use the lever yet. Okay, what's down here? Okay, I was gonna jump from up top, so I'm happy I didn't do that. So you can tell this place was old and used, innit? Reminds me of like the library from Halo. Ancient terminal words to life, an endless wall of code cuts across its dusty display. The pure language of machine, line by line, you begin deciphering the message. Concurrent working hours 273425492443. The number of operating hours exceeded the statutory of the Artificial Intelligence Safety Convention. Please contact the Maintenance Committee for machine euthanasia and replacement. Current working hour is 273425492443. The same message keeps repeating again and again. Other functions seem unrestorable. The damn computer's broken. Let me go see what that lever's doing upstairs. Because I feel like I could miss something by not touching it. But I could also miss something by touching it. Okay. I was thinking man had to jump from down there. I was gonna try it as well. I was gonna try it. We would have died. There's zero chance of making that. This is the next chapter. Alright, stream's done, guys. I'll see you. No, I'm joking. I'll see you next week. No, we're finishing this today. To this day. This is a world enslaved by the corporation. This is the extent things could get to if left unchecked. It's actually quite terrifying. That's why you have to have the resistance, man. You just must. Because who ordained this is the thing that I'm thinking. Whose decision is this mega structure? Will we ever find out? I feel like this is the future that people see when it's like, we used all of Earth's resources, so we had to push out further. The first generation ships were created in the year 2777, and they sent the first generation off into Mars. It failed, but humanity didn't give up. A portable device of familiar design has been connected to the terminal. It seems to be plowing for data and functions far deeper than the ancient mainframe would ever willingly give up. Open rail module doors. I wanted to access the data records. Come on, let's be nosy. Megastructure designation H5. Articentric 7R16 structure type counterweight world. Description: a counterweight world is a type of physically smaller, although much heavier megastructure built within a far larger one. Counterweight worlds were created with the purpose of gravitationally binding orbits of planets and other celestial bodies that would find themselves in the way of other structures' expansion. Having been created before most of the nearby outer structure, they would restrain and prevent the intruding celestial body from striking its walls or ceilings, thus ensuring the structure's future stability. They were most often built in the earliest ages of construction, especially in what we now regard as the former inner solar system. Additionally, like with many other utilitarian yet crucial complexes, a large maintenance team would remain inside these structures. The species they were known to seed often had their origins tracing back to well-patterned gene pools. Their biological parameters usually chosen to best assist in specific tasks of the structure's future preservation. However, with the megastructure's expansion past the Kuiper Belt, and with maintenance teams having left the structures, contact with many of these counterweight worlds has been lost. As such, it is very difficult for us to verify their present stability. Log end. Rail module doors have been unlocked. Okay. Are you making any sense of this? Are you still here, Shoots? So it's a world that is within another superstructure. It's just buildings all the way up, mate. We might have to watch a video after to see what this is about. The gears that have not been used in eons grind a violent resistance against your demands for movement. Before you, millions of miles of concrete and steel stretch out, dwarfing a gigantic crimson sphere. You watch as endless tides of hard matter unfold, one solid, stacked surface after another. And as the slow descent of the elevator continues, you begin to glimpse for the first time the true vastness of your escape. Many hours later, the elevator descends to its lowest point, at last coming to a halt above raging oceans of liquid coolant. The industrial towers holding up the ceiling like mythological giants of ancient tales. Finally preparing to leave the elevator and facing an ever stranger landscape, you nonetheless find the familiar step of your nomadic wandering returning. The promise engraved in every mile traveled that the seeking itself is the answer. Okay. Okay. Well, we completed Metal Garden. But what did we learn? What did we learn? Not much, I'm not gonna lie. It was fun though. I really enjoyed the music. It was very eerie. Um, it's straightforward. Just little shooter. Pick up your guns, aim it at the enemy. It's just, I guess, the people that were left behind, their generations and generations of servants. And sorry, I hate notification sounds. 1 second. And they're just beefing. I guess they're trying to find a way out, pooling resources, and just as the tug of war. I'm gonna see if there's any videos of it explained that we can watch. What are you saying? You want to watch a video about this? We can make it happen. I think we should do that, but I might take a quick break, if you know what I mean. But let me set this up. Okay, I can close. I can close Metal Garden now. I like the music a lot, I'm not gonna lie. The music slaps. Let's see if you can hear.
Countless subsumed in a vast.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that, yeah? Oh wait, you can see it on the screen as well. But did you hear it, yeah? Alright, cool, cool. Let's take 5. I'm gonna get a cup of tea. I'm gonna have a cup of tea, and then we'll sit and watch this video. The video, I'm gonna put the link in the description.
For the spooky season.
Actually, I need to turn that down. That was loud. Big shout outs to this video's creator, Shane. No one cares. Big you up. We care. Link in the description. But yeah, all right. Give me 5.
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
I can't, fam. I can't help myself. Let us listen to this also.
And I wanted to cover something.
Crazy.
So today,
Okay. This was something I picked up that I've been reading this week. We can talk about it when I get back. But yeah, where's my bag though? We'll get a cup of tea, Shoots. It's a big cup of tea. Cup of tea. When I enter the dance, everybody knows it's tea. And it's tea. This is like, this is the type of music that Blade would kill vampires to. So, we turn this future techno down. Dungeons of Doom. I need to read chapter 1 again, but Doctor Doom is dead. It is proper Terminator music. Doctor Doom is dead, and now everybody's trying to get to Latveria to plunder. Let's see if I can get it out. It should just be here. I mean, while I'm here, we might as well just go through some covers, because I couldn't find it. With the Metal Garden music in the back. So, Geiger, chapter 20. So the Northerner, this dude, the black dude, excuse me, is from a timeline where the stuff that happened in the United States happened the other way around. So I don't know American history that well. So the North one or the South one, I don't know. And basically in this timeline, he's trying to prevent like a nuclear holocaust that happened. But it happened in his timeline. But it also happened in our main timeline, because our main character Geiger, who is basically radioactive man, blew up. But he's also crossing paths with another character in that universe called Redcoat, or Simon Pure. Ah, this is another comment that I got the other day. This guy's back. Null. I thought he was dead. The King in Black is now back. So I haven't been able to read it yet. But yeah, you know, Null was there in the beginning. So, interesting tidbit, if I could call it that, because this is something I could easily be wrong on. The Necro Sword that Gore, the God Butcher, uses is his sword. I think that's right. I also got the Planet of the Apes and the Fantastic Four. So, an enemy sends the Fantastic Four to an alternative universe, and it is the Planet of the Apes universe. Very cringe. Wonder Woman. I've got quite a few of the variant covers for this absolute Wonder Woman run. This is chapter 16. Has the video started? Am I bugging? Oh wait, no, that's fine. Plana. What did I say? For what? Plana of the Apes. Planet of the Apes. I'm bugging. So yeah. So as we see here, she's a G. Wonder Woman, one of my favorite characters, easily. But as you can see, there is an obvious homage to who? Can you say the name in the chat, my friend, who is in the chat? Give it a wild guess that who this must be inspired by. And this is a pure speculation because I haven't looked it up. There we go. She thinks she's Guts. But those covers, some of the covers that I have of hers are some of my favorite covers. I can get, yeah, exactly, bro, Guts. But this version of her, very smoky. I love it. I don't so much like this, but what is it that you might think I don't like about this compared to even this version? Because this is the same person. This is just obviously Batman's run. This is Wonder Woman's run. This is the same crossover. I don't like this Wonder Woman. She looks too hench. Even though, yeah, it is what it is. This looks a bit mad to me. Absolute Batman. The Joker's released, mate. Peak. Absolute Bane. I'm looking forward to getting to read these because I actually haven't caught up on a lot of them. Arc M. Introduction of a character called... What is his name again? Basically, the reason why we have Arkham Asylum, the madman behind Arkham, is his first appearance in this Absolute Batman run. Well, Arc M. I think I have 2 copies of this. Because apparently it was running low. But I mean, if you want it, you can definitely have it. I picked up this one. There we go. This is what we're looking for. I picked up this because it's Absolute Batman still. No, that's a lie. It's Batman All In number 5, but it was just a random variant cover by George Jimenez. Don't know who that is, but I just thought it looked cool. Obviously, because I like Bleach. Artwork's amazing. Serious stuff, obviously. I need to read it because I need. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why I bought, because it reminded me of Bleach, which is my obviously number 1 favorite. I also have, which I think is hilarious, and I think I got this for free. Yeah, this was free comic book day. The Fantastic Four versus Godzilla. Hilarious. Why would they be fighting? But yeah, I found the Dungeons of Doom. I didn't find the Red Coat comic to show you, but Red Coat is part of the same world as Geiger, who is that glowing person that I showed you in the beginning. So yeah, Latveria is under siege by everybody. And basically, there's some dungeons that they didn't know that was under all of the... They can fight Godzilla. I mean, for sure. Like, why not? And they can do whatever they want. They're superheroes. They can fight whatever they want. But I'm like, why Godzilla? Godzilla's a good guy, no? Like, what could you be possibly beefing about with a big dragon that doesn't even speak your language? But I mean, if you need to, you're not gonna win, I assume. So go for it. But yeah, in the Dungeons of Doom, I literally haven't read this yet, so I have no idea what's in here. But we have Red Hulk and Black Panther. Basically, I think that's Black Panther anyway. I like this cover because Doom is powerful, genius. There's some dungeons under the castle, and everybody that goes in to invade falls into these dungeons. But obviously, they're not just going to be fighting real enemies. They're going to be fighting their own inner demons. So we're going to see what that's like, because obviously they have to fight their own inner demons, because that's the only obstacle you ever fight in life anyway. So looking forward to reading that, and I'll update. I intend to stream a couple more days this week, and I'm gonna put some time in my calendar later to put some reading time in and catch up, because I feel like I need to unscramble all of the stories and get them in order, because I've got a lot to catch up, and there's a lot I wanted to talk about with Batman as well, because there was, I think it was called Gotham Nocturne, is a story that I started reading a while ago, and it was like it's like a stage play, so there was 3 acts, and there probably was like more acts that they added to it, but it goes into, I think it's on like 11 or 1011 or something like that, and Gotham Nocturne started in 1068. That might have even been the prequel to Gotham Nocturne. So I want to talk about all of that. I've even written some stuff down about it, so I'm going to get my thoughts in order, and whenever day that we stream this week, probably Wednesday, maybe Thursday, depending on what my Tuesday is like, I might stream during the day and just do some of that study time like I was saying, and then if I've read anything by then, I'll get us caught up. But yeah, man, I was reading at the beginning of the stream, I actually paused to read it, was Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo, which is the new Jujutsu Kaisen that's come out. Why isn't my 1080p look at that 1080p? What happens if I turn up the lights? Because I'm looking at it on stream and it doesn't look that good. It doesn't look bad, but maybe it's because it's dark, so it's just getting crushed. Anyway, let's watch this video. I need to create a background for my streams.
Something a little different. A game that's not necessarily a horror game, but
this, yeah?
kind of is at the same time, if you really. For the spooky season, I wanted to cover something a little different. A game.
Let me actually hold on. Let me do something, because I want to watch this, but I obviously don't want to make it full screen. I need to make sure. I mean, it's live, so it doesn't really matter. I just don't want to make it look mad. Do you know what? Yeah, I don't care.
That's not necessarily a horror game, but kind of is at the same time, if you really think about it. It's an indie game called Metal Garden, and when I say this game really knows how to mess with your sense of scale, that is an understatement. This is one of the most atmospheric
Is that
games
better?
with some of the most interesting lore I've experienced in a very long time. So without further ado, let's break
How's
down
this?
Metal Garden. Entombed in a vast megastructure, countless civilizations live through their long ages. Though they have attempted every method, the walls and ceiling of the structure remain unbreached. The path outside has never been found. In the structure's overgrown far reaches, many nomads wander, living off the remnants of battles fought along the countless warring states and corporations. Our story begins as we sit outside of our old defunct mech, smoking a cigarette. It's beyond repair, either through damage sustained or just overuse. We are a nomad, and by
I guess because you didn't see the beginning of the game, this is going to be a good playthrough for you. But yeah, let's see.
By the looks of this mech, it's been our home for some time. But as is our nature, we must wander. Taking our pistol and thrust boots, we move beyond the mech into the neighboring valley, where we are instantly attacked by mercs. Dispatching them, we stumble upon a camp of...
I tried to like wait to see if I was gonna get to chat to them, and they immediately just turned around and started blasting. And there's no dialogue from them. There's only well, yeah, you'll get to it, but I don't remember those people speaking. Like, you get to meet you only speak to one person. And I don't remember it being a pirate.
Of slaughtered soldiers. Interestingly, these soldiers aren't human. They're like jaguar people. Beneath one of the soldiers, we find a military operations journal. It spans numerous entries, going back many cycles. It begins by listing provisions for several hundred soldiers in marching orders for a tremendously long-distance mission, and continues by exhaustively describing the travel up through 2 separate megastructure stratas. It often remarks on the struggle soldiers are having with controlling their movement, as a result of the lower gravity in the upper stratas. Their bodies are unused to the lack of gravitational friction. Unfortunately, the journal cuts off abruptly, right in the middle of a supply inventory count before it can imply anything more of the soldier's mission. Following a blood trail, we find one of these jaguar people still alive, barely clinging to life. Treating his wounds, he begins to speak. This is the king of the Rea Secretorum, and he tells us that they were betrayed in their mission, causing his army to collapse. He says they finally found an exit from the megastructure, the culmination of millennias of searching. He tells us they had spies inside the Central Serenian Mining Group, the CSMG, and that one of their damn projects hit a hole in the wall. They went to intercept, but the CSMG mercs broke their lines and were able to capture and buy off some of the king's own men, causing them to turn on one another. As the king begins to ramble to himself, we steal a key he's holding and continue through the barricade blocking our path. Moving along a broken highway, we overhear some mercs talking about rigging up some explosives. Taking them out, we find a collection of old magazines and newspapers, all of which are many cycles old. The newest issue we can find frontlines a retrospective of the anniversary of the CSMG gaining majority control in the running of this strata. The article tells how many people of the strata, as well as most of the CSMG's workforce and leadership, suffer from extremely high UV sensitive bodies. The same ceiling lights that warm the flesh of other species torch the bodies of those here. The CSMG gained control of the strata on popular support after they promised to dim the strata's ceiling lights as their most important policy. As a result, this layer is unique in that it holds permanent mid-tone conditions. Entering the structure the mercs are guarding, we take out a handful of Rea Secretorum turncoats and discover just how deep this facility goes. We move through the structure, finding what looks to be some fragments of ancient ruins, and exit with a new sniper in hand. Passing by a sea lion looking thing, we fight off more mercs and enter a new structure that seems to be an old highway. Here we can find a personal device in the back of this car that reads, Diary of Arisa Reed, Junior CSMG Drill Specialist, entry for Cycle 12 of Trist 713. It's common knowledge in the field that the CSMG built their vast architectural projects over the stratiform ruins of the old states and kingdoms. This isn't the first drill site like this I've been to, and yet I was still unprepared for the real thing. Me and the other crew keep uncovering plates and markings, mentions of cities and countries we no longer have record of, and I have to wonder, deep down below, who knows what else they found. Exploring the ground of this area, we find a hole covered in some leaves and find ourselves in more ancient ruins. Another portable device can be found here that reads, unmistakably marked by their distinctive pictographic script, these ruins must belong to the Velomir people. The most famous story we know of them say that long ago they tried to build a tower to reach the very ceiling of the world. They failed, of course, and now their greatest relic lies buried underground, as deep beneath layers of sediment as one can reach. Before we exit, we can hop across these cogs and break some dirt to open up an elevator that will grant us access to some kind of armory. As we make our way up out of this structure, we find massive CSMG mining drills carving out a massive canyon. Doing a few jumping puzzles, we make our way across the gap and find a dead merc. He appears to have something called an external brain implant used to store select memories. We are able to connect to it despite the obvious risks. Most data is corrupted, but one memory remains mostly intact. We experience a scene through the eyes of this dead merc. High-ranking executives from the CSMG argue in a shadowy industrial hall. They discuss destroying a major scientific breakthrough because it threatens their power and profit. They plan to cover it up by blaming an engineer for structural failure. Before anything else gets said, the memory then begins to collapse as corruption spreads. We disconnect, suffering minor neural damage, and confirm the rest of the implant's memories are completely unstable. Passing by some windmills, we discover a secret passage through a mountain that takes us up to an overlook of a massive CSMG dam. Climbing through a cave system, we stumble across another camp where we can find a traditional rolled-up paper contract ledger. It details a pact made between a dissatisfied splinter faction of the Reis Secretorum and military officers of the CSMG. Reis Secretorum is to give military support and act as a helping hand in CSMG plans to bomb the area and hide its truth. In exchange, they would be afforded provisions as well as either citizenship or safe passage back to the lower stratas. However, one line in particular jumps out to us as it reads, "No heavenly fields await us beyond the structure, and no God to fill our empty stomachs." Taking the armory key and moving along, we take out more mercs and Reis Secretorum turncoats, find another key, and approach the dam. Using the 2 keys, we access the armory and gear up right before we're ambushed by a handful of mercs. Taking them out, we move on toward what looks to be some kind of bunker entrance and are able to find another discarded portable device that explains how head researcher Lucien Arvegan writes to Minister Holden Istve, explaining that while the megastructure's outer walls have always seemed impenetrable, their teams have likely discovered a maintenance or ventilation tunnel, the first potential opening ever found. Arvegan notes that according to thermodynamics, no structure can be completely sealed, so this discovery aligns with scientific logic. In a private aside, he also mentions that UV light levels beyond the outer structure are unusually low, which he is excited about because it could resolve their main environmental or energy concerns. Attempting to enter the bunker, we are stopped by a mech. Using everything we have, we are able to bring the machine down and enter the bunker. Below us, we see an endless expanse of nothing. We platform across massive gaps and enter a dilapidated machine that we are able to reactivate. In doing so, a computer terminal turns on, saying that the system has been running for 27,342,549,243 hours and has exceeded the legal/safety limits set for an AI operation. It then warns
How many
that
years
maintenance or
is
replacement
2
required
billion
to ensure
hours?
safety. We continue deeper into this odd structure, finding a tram with discarded equipment before we find ourselves outside once more. Yet above us, we can't see the roof of the megastructure. It looks like we're finally outside, but it's hard to tell as gray hangs above and clouds hang below. Yet what catches the eye the most is the sphere of rumbling storms outside in the distance. Finding a nearby computer terminal, it reads, "Access data records. Megastructure designation, H5 Artificentric 7R16. Structure type, counterweight world. Description, a counter..."
You see, when I think of like sci-fi movies like this, the world that we exist in now, yeah, is limited in its scope. So we haven't got to the point where things are like this, yeah. But I genuinely think, and maybe I'm just being ignorant and hopeful, but it's fortunate that God exists in it, because in a universe like that, God couldn't exist. Not just because of the Jaguar people and the mech pirates, but because it's just hopeless. Like nothing is going on. It's just mega structures and expanses and resources. And obviously they haven't really explained that much yet. But yeah, to me, I would have liked to think that God would have intervened if things had got to the point where it was like this. But we're not there yet, as peak as things are in it. Does that make any sense?
Counterweight world is a type of physically smaller, although much heavier megastructure built within a far larger one. Counterweight worlds were created with the purpose of gravitationally binding orbits of planets and other celestial bodies that would find themselves in the way of the outer structure's expansion. Having been created before most of the nearby outer structure, they would restrain and prevent the intruding celestial body from striking its walls or ceiling, thus ensuring the structure's future stability. They were most often built in the very earliest stages of construction, especially in what we now regard as the former inner solar system. Additionally, like with many other utilitarian yet crucial complexes, a large maintenance
You
team
know what?
would
I feel like this is a bit I need to read again, yeah. But what we should also do. Okay, let's just read this bit one more time. As with many other utilitarian yet critical complexes, large maintenance teams were once stationed inside these structures. These populations were often seeded. These populations often seeded their genetic lineages deliberately patterned. I'm reading this wrong. Anyway, that's not what I want to read. However, following the megastructure's expansion beyond the Kuiper belt, that's the bit I wanted to see. What is the Kuiper belt? The Kuiper belt is a donut-shaped region of icy bodies located beyond the orbit of Neptune, containing many dwarf planets and other small celestial objects. The Kuiper belt extends about 30 to 55 astronomical units from the Sun. I think one astronomical unit. Sometimes I can't talk, bro. I think one astronomical unit is the distance between here and the Sun, but we will look that up. So it's that far away. It's similar in composition to the asteroid belt, but significantly larger, approximately 20 times wider and 200 times more massive. The belt is thought to contain hundreds of thousands of objects, including many over 100 kilometers in diameter. From this picture, are you seeing what the Kuiper belt is, or are you just seeing... Oh, the Kuiper belt is all of this. So basically, you're saying, however, following the megastructure's expansion beyond the Kuiper belt, is the structure bigger than all of this? Is that what they're suggesting? Yeah. But is that what they're saying? From reading this, is that what you're implying? However, following the megastructure's expansion beyond the Kuiper belt, or are there megastructures out here just beyond this space? I don't know. Anyway.
Remain inside these structures. They were known to seed, often having their origins tracing back to well-patterned gene pools. Their biological parameters were usually chosen to best assist in specific tasks of the structure's future preservation. However, with the megastructure's expansion past the Kuiper belt, and with maintenance teams having left the structure, contact with many of these counterweight worlds has been lost. As such, it is very difficult for us to verify their present stability. We then activate a nearby elevator and begin our descent, and are greeted with this final message. The gears that have not been used in eons grind in violent resistance against your demand for movement. Before you, millions of miles of concrete and steel stretch out, dwarfing a great crimson sphere. You watch as endless tides of hard matter unfold, one solid stacked surface after another. And as the slow descent of the elevator continues, you begin to glimpse, for the first time, the true vastness of your escape. Many hours later, the elevator descends to its lowest point, at last coming to a halt above raging oceans of liquid coolant, the industrial towers holding up the ceiling like mythological giants of ancient tales. Finally preparing to leave the elevator and facing an ever stranger landscape, you, nonetheless, find the familiar step of your nomadic wandering returning, the promise engraved in every mile traveled that the seeking itself is the answer. Okay, so Metal Garden is a very dense, layered piece of sci-fi world building that seems kind of vague at first, but actually does make sense.
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
Structurally and thematically. So let's break it down step by step. The core premise of the game takes place inside a colossal megastructure, essentially a Matryoshka doll of civilizations. Countless societies have lived and died within it, and no one has ever reached the quote-unquote outside. Over time, people stopped believing escape was even possible. But you, us, we are a wandering nomad. We stumbled into what might be the first real lead toward that exit. Basically, the CSMG found a maintenance tunnel or a ventilation shaft and were attempting to leave the megastructure when the Rea Secretorum attempted to intercept them. A battle ensued with the CSMG winning and basically dissolving the Rea Secretorum into their own ranks. The CSMG then accessed these tunnels and quickly realized they needed to seal the exit, specifically because if people started leaving the structure, everything the CSMG has built would have no relevance and their value would plummet. Despite conditions worsening for their people, which seems to be starvation and crop failure, the CSMG minister plans to blow up one of their dams, lying about how it broke under the pressure and decided to blame it on one of the engineers to cover it up. However, we fight through them all and slip through the exit and realize it's not really an exit. So let's talk about what we are actually in. Remember the log about strata and lower gravity in the upper levels? That is in itself suggesting a vertical hierarchy of stacked civilizations at different altitudes. The image we find on the terminal basically shows us that the megastructure is a pillar. If we tie it to the counterweight world we learn about, then that basically means we are in a support spire from the outer shell down to the core mass, stabilizing the structure and keeping the layers on top of us from collapsing inward. So the megastructure basically functions more like a tower or vertical labyrinth rather than a flat plane or a spherical world. Now, what makes this even more crazy is the mentioning of the megastructure's expansion past the Kuiper Belt. This implies the megastructure itself, not just the pillar, was constructed within our very own solar system and would eventually grow beyond it. For those of you who don't know, the Kuiper Belt is a massive ring of icy debris and dwarf planets that orbits way out past Neptune and around where Pluto is. That means at some point in the distant future, humanity, or whatever species came after, started building a structure so massive that it engulfed the entire solar system and kept expanding outward until it passed the edges of Pluto's orbit. Now, since we're only in a support structure, this may beg the question, what is the actual structure? I think this is probably a Dyson sphere-like construct. And to briefly explain what a Dyson sphere is, it is a hypothetical megastructure that completely or partially surrounds a star to capture most or all of its energy output. A hypothetical way I imagine this megastructure to be formed would be like two half spheres connected by these pillars, each with an orbiting counterweight world. Now, these spheres above and below might have their own societies and whatnot, but at this point we really have no idea based on the information given. What's even more shocking is that the mentioning of maintenance teams remaining inside these structures, implying that the people we meet are not incidental tribes, but descendants of purpose-bred maintenance communities entrusted with the counterweight's upkeep. Yet expansion in time caused abandonment, resulting in communication links to be broken and these places to become isolated relics. And when I say time, we can actually get a rough estimate of how long it's been. Nearing the exit, we find a glitchy computer terminal that tells us it's been running for 27,342,549,243 hours. And doing some quick maths, that roughly equates to 3.12 million years. So over the course of millions of years, this megastructure has encapsulated our solar system. So the ending, when we finally reach what seems to be the outer edge of the megastructure, we realize that we were never on the surface. We were inside a support structure for something really beyond our comprehension. The line, "the true vastness of your escape," implies that we left one world only to find another. When the narration ends with the promise engraved in every mile traveled that the seeking itself is the answer, is telling us that escape is more so philosophical and not literal, but meaning comes from the exploration, persistence, and self-definition. So it's not really about breaking free out of the megastructure, it's about confronting the existential truth that there may be no outside to escape to. In the very beginning of this video, I described this game as like kind of a horror game, but kind of not. But as you see, there weren't any jump scares or anything you'd typically see in a horror game. But this very much is a terrifying game because it plays on one of my favorite tropes in the genre, which is the fear of the unknown. Think about it like this. If this truly is a megastructure that encapsulates the entire solar system, just try to imagine how large that is. If you need help, consider the distance from Earth to Pluto. which averages out to be around 5.9 billion kilometers. If one were to attempt walking this distance at a typical pace of 5 kilometers per hour, it would take roughly 135,000 years to reach Pluto. Even if someone could sustain a brisk running pace of 10 kilometers per hour without stopping, the journey would still require over 67,000 years. So if the megastructure covers our entire solar system, then there really is no escape. It is so unimaginably large that it's literally incomprehensible, and it has been so long that the craters have likely disappeared, meaning that we don't know why this was built and any reason was likely lost to time. And that's terrifying, which kind of brings us back to the philosophical core of the game, the idea that escape itself may be meaningless. The megastructure isn't a prison, it's almost like a mirror. It forces us to confront the scale of existence, the futility of legacy, and the fragility of, I guess, human understanding. The only thing that remains certain is the act of seeking, of curiosity, of persistence, and of courage to explore the unknown, even when the universe offers no answers. So yeah, Metal Garden might not terrify you with monsters jumping out of vents, but it terrifies you with the scope of its reality, the enormity of the construct, the millions of years that have passed, the civilizations lost, and the impossibility of ever leaving. That's the horror. It's the kind of fear that lingers long after you stopped playing. The fear of a universe so vast, so meticulously constructed that we are just ants wandering its endless halls.
Yeah, that sums it up still. That defo sums it up. I don't know why I put this thing on. Just to come back to the same input. Yeah. It's a good game. £5. Nah. I think it's an hour and a half of gameplay, but it took me 5 hours because I'm not MLG. But it was definitely worth playing. I'm looking forward to finding something else like that. It's not a horror game in like the typical sense, but yeah, it is quite gets you thinking about existence, because the universe is incomprehensibly big, even the solar system. But if you were to say, like they have suggested in the game, that you were to put it inside a room, it's still it kind of reframes it. How you would do that is even crazier, because that speaks to the power of what people are able to do. It's kind of like a Tower of Babel type situation in a lot of ways as well. That's what came to mind when I saw that ancient structure where they were trying to build a tower to reach through the structure, but they could just never do it because this structure's bigger than you, and it will always be bigger than you, the same way God is bigger than everything and everyone. But God isn't a machine like the mega structure is. But somebody would have had to make the mega structure. So it's who has the resources to do that? Or who were they? I think if we were to think about the alien university, it's called, what are they called again? What is the name of the bad guys in Alien? I don't remember. Anyway, that was good. We got to play Metal Garden. We got to finish that. I'm going to go now and watch Vampire Hunter D because I need to finish that because I'm halfway through. I think I'm not 100% sure, and this is something that I might start doing, especially like with watching other animes and stuff. I might watch them in the Discord, and obviously we can't stream that, but we can all watch it together. I can put it up on a monitor in the Discord and we can all watch it together. I don't have to output that input to the stream, and we can maybe have like movie nights and that. Because yeah, I'm gonna put the link to the Vampire Hunter D that I'm watching now. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that because I don't even know if that's legal. I'm gonna send it to you, shoots. yeah, I'm gonna finish watching it. I think I have, yeah, like 30 minutes left. It's kind of just a. It's not that it doesn't make sense. Like he's gonna fight the boss and win, and I don't see it being too much of a struggle. The film is an hour and 20 minutes long, so yeah, I'm gonna watch that now. Thank you for joining me on the stream for the game, and I'm gonna try and if you got any suggestions for short ones that are like this. I've only got 3 out of 9 of the achievements, so I need to figure out what the other achievements are. Acquire all the sniper rifle. Oh, okay, I didn't get the sniper rifle. I only got the sniper rifle through. Let me just put this up here real quick. Yeah, if we have any other games suggestions like Metal Garden, let's play them on stream. Exactly, short, sweet indie games, 1-2 hours. I might try and go back and get these. The reason why I don't get well equipped is because I played the first day, and because I didn't play it through in one sitting, it just put me at the checkpoint, and I must have missed it in my playthrough because I was trying to explore. So I didn't go the way that you're supposed to go to get the sniper. Defeat an opponent through indirect means. I didn't do that. Find a way into the elevator room. Okay, mega structure, amble, side B. Finish the game with any modifier active. Find all the secret logs. Okay, might have to do that still. But yeah, I'm going to maybe stream tomorrow night. I've got flexes early on Tuesday, so I'm going to play it by ear. But thank you for joining. I appreciate it. And yeah, bro, it will be a smashing stream next time. And any suggestions, keep it up, bro. Love you loads, my G. Peace.